everyone. Today we'll be talking about Module 3. Anyway, so Module 3. Objective 1, legal requirements. To understand the legal requirements and which type of motorcycle vehicle you're licensed to ride. So, in other words, for whatever permit that you're taking, you have an obligation to know what's the age limitation to it. But for all practical purposes, the minimum age for category AM is 16 years of age. A1 is 16. A2 is 18 years old. And category A is 24 years old. Now, the thing is that if you are 18 years old and you decide to take an IBT course for category A2, if you take the course, pass the test, and ride the motorcycle for 2 years after you acquired your full license on category A2, you're entitled to take a progressive course after that, and you don't need to take another full license test again, because once you passed once, you don't need to take the test again. But you can elevate the status of your license from category A2 to category A at age 20, provided you start out at age 18. So you say, well, what's the minimum age to acquire a full license, motorcycle full license is 20 years old if you started at 18. Otherwise, it's 24. Okay? Unless, of course, at 21 you try again. You try, and then at 20 you can have it at age 23. The point is that between 18 years of age and 24 years of age and 22, if you do the category A2, pass the test, in 2 years you can take the progressive course and elevate your status to category A. You have an obligation to pay road tax every year, to pay insurance. So anyhow, you have an obligation of the surrounding worthiness of your motorcycles, such as change the oil on a regular basis, change the brakes on a regular basis, change the tires on a regular basis. You need to take a full license test. So, you don't take an IBT course and get your certificate, put on the wall, it says, here's my accomplished, like a Harvard degree. No, you get that, get your motorcycle, practice the hell out of it for 30 to 60 days, take a test, and put that all behind you. Okay, so obtaining a full license is the main goal here for, that once you accomplished all the requirements, you don't have to look back. Procedure if involved in a collision, of course, don't leave the scene of the accident. Anyway, so rules of the road. Know the rules of the road and the importance of compliance to understand the required knowledge areas. Well, if you study for a theory test, if you pass the test, those are the required knowledge areas to begin with. The importance and compliance with the rules of the road. Well, either you'll be penalized by the government, for not obeying the rules, or you pay the ultimate consequence, which is a motorcycle accident. So stay within the rules. It's in your best interest, to begin with. Consequences of impaired riding: alcohol, drugs, medication. Well, I'm assuming that you're not going to drink and ride or take illicit drugs and ride a motorcycle. But there may be occasions that you may, let's say, have a chest infection, and your doctor may prescribe you a particular medication that says, do not operate machinery under the influence of such and such medication. So you should be aware of these things, because those medications can impair with your sense of perception, your reflexes, so your anticipation and reaction to things. So just be aware what's happening. So you may not be a drug addict or an alcoholic, but still you may be under the influence of a particular medication that could affect your judgment. Anyway, so be careful. And the importance of regular eyesight testing. Well, as far as I understand, in Ireland, it's once every 10 years. Okay? And that, if you already, let's say, have a car license, that kind of gets transferred over to a motorcycle as well. So you don't have to, because you're taking a test for full license in motorcycle, that you need to take a second eye test. There's no need for that. Being seen. To understand the importance of being visible while you're riding a motorcycle, it's very important to be visible, to be seen at all times when riding a motorcycle. You can make it easier for other motorists to see you. Of course, you don't need to look like a banana with a yellow helmet and a yellow outfit. Not even the guard that does that. They look all yellow, but they have a white helmet. So, wearing bright colored clothing, what they mean is having stripes, a lot of visible reflective stripes on your jackets, or the most reasonable one, you can wear yourself a very nice leather outfit or a leather jacket with a Sam Brownie belt, which is a sort of a yellow belt that goes around your body like Miss Universe. But at the end of the day, when you come home, you take Miss Universe off your chest and take your wife to dinner. Okay? So as far as helmets is concerned, helmet is the number one thing. You know, black helmets are cool and all, but a highly visible helmet is one of the biggest lifesavers on a motorcycle. So white is the most recommended color. Sometimes you have a combination of graphics with white, yellow, red, and stuff like that, which is visible enough. But there's nothing like a full white helmet or a yellow, bright yellow neon helmet. Yeah, but for God's sake. You know, you don't want to look like a sunflower or a canary or something, but yeah, they work. Bright colored helmet, keeping your headlights on. Well, it is the law in most countries, not just in Ireland, that as soon as you turn the key on a motorcycle, your headlight comes on. And that started in 2006. So if you happen to own a bike manufactured before 2006, most likely you find an on and off switch on the right side of the handlebar for your headlights. So you make certain that you don't leave the house without turning those headlights on before you ride out of your driveway. Okay? Good road positioning is extremely important. See, that the three things that constitute a good motorcyclist is the perception and definition of good positioning at the right place at the right time, good observation at the right place and the right time, and the anticipation and reaction to possible hazards and threats that you can find on the road. So good positioning, 90% of the time, is at the center of your lane. When you're riding a motorcycle on a road, either you're going around a bend or on a straight, it's at the center of your lane. Now, there may be things that will force you to move away from that position, but you have a mental obligation to come back as soon as that obstacle or threat is avoided or bypassed. You then bring the motorcycle back to the center of your lane. Okay? Good clean motorcycle. A good clean motorcycle reflects lights. If you have chrome on your bike or reflectors, that makes you visible. It's another safeguard. It's for your own benefit. So it's in your best interest to, from time to time, wash the bloody bike and take all the pernicious chemicals that get absorbed by your motorcycle when you ride the road. And not just that, it's a good thing for you, for the motorcycle, and it preserves the motorcycle. It will last longer. So, importance of the above points when driving at night. Well, essentially what they mean here, whatever conservative procedure that you apply when riding during the day, they are a little bit enhanced at night. One example, the 2-second rule. So you have, I don't know if you understand the definition of the 2-second rule, but let's say, for instance, I don't know if you'll be able to see this on the camera, but let's say, for instance, this is a car in front of you, and you're following that car. So basically, on a good day, on a dry road, the bare minimum distance that you will follow that car is 2 seconds. And you say, well, how can I measure that? Because you see, distance is not measured like with a measuring tape. It's measured by time. So when you're passing by a reference on a road, let's say a light post or something, and you're about to pass by that post, and when you're following this individual here, and when the individual passes by my point of reference, as he passed it, I start counting 1001, 1002. So that means 1 second, 2 seconds. So that means that if I'm passing by the same point of reference after the person in front of me did, and if I'm at 1001, I need to slow down and increase that to 2 seconds minimum. So that's how you establish your 2-second rule, put it this way, with a person that you're following. Because you see, if you need to react and apply your brakes, it takes 1 second for your brain to analyze the situation and send a command, to yourself and say, apply the brakes. So usually when something happens, whatever it is, if the person applies the brakes in front of you, it takes 2 seconds for you to apply your brakes. So that's why the bare minimum distance that you should follow a vehicle should be a minimum of 2 seconds. Now, if it's drizzling, kind of beginning to rain, you increase that distance to 3 seconds. If it is pouring, it's 4 seconds. And if it is lashing rain, you might as well pull off the road and wait for the rain to pass, stop under a bridge or something to that effect. Bikers do that all the time. Okay? So understand that when you're riding at night, you just increase that positioning on the road, that distance between you and the person in front of you by at least 1 second. Okay. And how to maintain safe control at night? Well, headlights on. If you are on secondary roads, put your high beams on. So there are kind of things that you can drive a little bit slower, keep your, increase your distance from the person in front of you, and whenever you get an opportunity, put your high beams. Don't put your high beams on somebody else's, windshield coming in the opposite direction. But if there's nobody coming in the opposite direction, absolutely put your high beams on. I'm going to stop this for a second because I'm freezing and I need to put a coat on to continue with this lesson.